Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, dear listeners, to another episode of Unveiling Human Treachery and Oppression from Ahlul Bayt AS to today. In the chronicles of Islamic history, there's a recurring theme that's as old as the faith itself: the manipulation of narratives to serve the interests of the powerful. This manipulation often involves the cover up or distortion of injustices, particularly those inflicted upon the Ahlul Bayt AS, the household of the Prophet Muhammad. One of the most striking examples of this is the way that the history of Ahlul Bayt al-Islam has been told and retold over the centuries. The persecution they faced, the injustices they endured, and the sacrifices they have made are often glossed over or distorted in mainstream narratives. And when I say mainstream, I'm talking about the 80% of Muslim population, 85% of Muslim populations that have a certain narrative versus the 15% of Muslim populations who have been persecuted over the centuries. They have a different narrative. So let's talk about the mainstream narrative of the 85% of Muslims. This is not mere an oversight, but a deliberate attempt to control the narrative and shape the collective memory of the Muslim community over the last 1400 years. But why does this even matter? I recall a discussion I had with a person in the courtyard of the Prophet's mosque in Medina. He argued that we should focus on our own actions and not be concerned with what happened 1400 years ago. We should not be concerned on who killed the daughter of the Prophet, or where is she buried, or what happened to Imam Ali alayhi salam, or why was he silent and not active after the death of the Prophet, what happened to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Let's not talk about any of those things in the history. Let's just focus on our own actions. I understand his perspective because he has been brainwashed through generations, like the 85% of the Muslim population and even majority and many of the Shia population as well. But I respectfully disagree with his opinion. It matters. It matters to understand the history. It matters because the foundation of our religion matters. It matters whether we take our religion from the source, the Prophet and his household, or from those who usurp their rights. It matters whether we seek knowledge and guidance from the rightful leaders of faith or from illegitimate and unknowledgeable caliphs. If our foundation is wrong, how can we build the solid structure on it? It is not even possible. It's not common sense. It matters because history is not just about the past. It's about understanding our present and sharing our future. When we allow injustice to be covered up or manipulated in historical narratives, we are not just distorting the past, we are also distorting our understanding of the present and our vision for the future. Consider the Quranic verse: O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, and even if it is against yourself or parents or relatives. This verse underscores the importance of justice in Islam, and it serves as a reminder that we must strive for justice even when it is uncomfortable or inconvenient. The manipulation of historical narratives is not just a betrayal of the past, it's a betrayal of the principles of justice and truth that Islam holds so dear. It's a betrayal of the Ahlul Bayt AS, the household of the Prophet ﷺ himself, who endured the unimaginable hardship for the sake of their faith. So, what can we do about this? We can start by seeking out and sharing the truth about the history of Ahlul Bayt al-Islam. We can challenge the status quo and question the narratives that have been handed down to us. We can strive to understand the past in all its complexity rather than accepting a sanitized or distorted version of it coming down from the official channels supported and sponsored by the caliphs who had usurped the rights of the Ahlul Bayt al-Islam. In the end, the struggle for justice is not about righting the wrongs of the past, and it's not just about that. It's about creating a future where truth and justice are valued over power and convenience. It's about honoring the legacy of Ahlul Bayt al-Islam by living up to the principle they embodied. And until unless we really understand what happened to them and disassociate ourselves from those who committed that treachery in the history, we can never make ourselves different from what they did. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, let's remember the words of the Quran. And let not the hatred of a people prevent you from being just. Be just. That is nearer to righteousness. Allah loves righteousness. Allah helps those who are righteous. Let's strive to uncover the truth, to stand up for justice, and to honor the legacy of Ahlul Bayt al-Islam in our words and actions. Assalamu alaikum.